Alright, this video is going to show you how you can swap a thermostat on a 4.2 liter V8 Audi engine. They use these in a bunch of the Audis, the A6s and the A8s, starting in 2000. And one of the redesigns, this engine's got some nice upgrades over the 32 valve engine, but one of the things that's a definite downside is the thermostat is located behind the timing belt. So by the book, you're supposed to remove the timing belt and basically do the timing belt job from scratch in order to remove the thermostat. There's been some posts out there, and I've actually done this once before, but I didn't shoot any video on how you can do this and leave the timing belt intact. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing I did was I drained the block. On the driver's side, there's a 10 millimeter hex tube. So if you remove that, you'll get about that much coolant out. Mine was clogged, so there's a whole bunch of dirt that came along with it. But that's I don't know how much that is actually there. You know, a gallon and a half of coolant that came out. That's all I drained. I stuck a plastic bag here, so when I remove the thermostat, I'm not sure if there's going to be a flood or not, and whether I should have drained some out of the radiator, but I'll find out in a few minutes. So I did that first. Had to remove the fan and fan clutch here just to free up some room, and then I loosened the drive belt here and just drop that out of the way because that obstructs one of the bolts on the thermostat housing. You'll probably notice I have the electric fan out, but that's unrelated to this job. I have a bad fan, so I'm going to swap that out, but you really don't need to remove it to do this. And then I've got 3 timing belt covers removed, so we've got pretty clear access. So those are the only things you need to remove. And then what I did was I marked the belt. You can see those 2 marks there. And I put a zip tie on the top and the bottom, but I left enough slack so that I could pull the belt forward. You can see it's not quite halfway on the cam sprocket, and you know, that zip tie would prevent it from coming off completely. And then I just pulled it forward, and then can twist the belt to get some slack. Now the other thing I did, which I didn't mention, was I rotated the engine to get to the point where the belt has got the most slack on it. These engines, there's a certain point where, if you've noticed this before, the belt's got a crazy amount of slack on it. And so I got to that point, or close to that point. I don't know if it was exact. So it's a little floppy here. And then the only other thing I did was I removed the timing belt roller here. That's just a single, I think it's an 8 millimeter hex. And that's it. So with that, then I remove the actual, or loosen the timing belt, I keep saying timing belt, thermostat housing. And I happen to have an extra one here so I can show you where the bolts are. There's only 3. They're T30 triple Torx. And so here's that's kind of your mark here when you're on the front of the engine. This is that. And so there's a bolt here just below it. And that's the reason you need to remove that, or loosen the drive belt, because it obstructs that bolt. And then if you move down, look for this little ledge here, and then that's the 3rd bolt. So 3 T30s, and then the housing will be loose like that. And if you peek in there, you can see the shiny part of the thermostat, which I'll pull out in a few minutes. So I should be able to just turn the belt, pull that out, swap the thermostat, and then reverse everything. And, you know, all told, this is probably going to take me, I don't know, an hour and a half, and then I'll have to refill and bleed it, but everything will go back together pretty quick. So hopefully that helps you guys. I'll finish this up in a few minutes, and if there's anything I need to add, I'll do that.